Hey everyone, welcome to LezPod. You are here, my friends, because you believe in the LGBTQ plus community and the importance of sharing our individual stories to help impact one another. Our goal at the show is to introduce you to people and ideas that are going to help motivate you to empower yourselves, to go after your goals, and believe in yourself. Okay? My name is Alexandria Friedlander, and I'm here to introduce you to remarkable guests who have helped shift the world we live in today. Today's guest is celebrity musician, Jennifer Messina.
Everyone, help me welcome Jennifer to LezPod.
What was it like growing up as you? And
when
you realized that you were physically or emotional or just attracted? Get rid of the because it's everything, right?
In any way.
When did you start to realize that you were interested in the same sex?
Okay, so as a little kid, I would say I was still pretty bold as a kid, but I wasn't as blunt and unfiltered as I am today. And a lot of it was because I didn't have confidence in myself. I felt in a lot of ways I couldn't trust myself enough to give myself direction. But when it came to music, I was always the kid in front of the band dancing, stealing the show because I was like 4 years old and cute. And my parents' coffee table was my stage growing up. It didn't matter if the neighbors came over or my grandma. I was on that fucking table. And I put on my little Cinderella costumes and I kicked my heels. And then I would do like weird things. Like I'd start to like rip different pieces of the clothes off, just like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and all of them did back in the day. So except I was 4 years old. So my parents would be like super embarrassed by that. But I was really lucky that my parents always really wanted me to pursue my dreams in music and the entertainment career. So I started going head on in elementary school. I had just moved to New Hampshire from New York. So there was like a total culture shock for me. Like my mom's a foreigner and my father's a city boy. So it's like all of a sudden you brought me to small town suburbia. Like, what the fuck is this? And everything was more laid back there and all that. And my parents wanted to integrate me in the community, so they put me in music lessons. And I said, piano is so fucking boring. At 8 years old, that was the last thing I wanted to do. And then my mom was like, you should sing a little bit. I think you have a great talking, singing voice, which I don't know how she sometimes thinks because sometimes I'm talking and my voice starts cracking. I'm like, I sound like a smoker, but I don't smoke. So I auditioned for the talent show in 4th grade and I sang Colors of the Wind from Pocahontas. And I just remember everyone's face was just like shocked. It was silent. So I thought, oh yeah, I really must have fucked up. But it ended up being that there was some potential there. So I really took into that, got really into my craft, and I just pushed forward. And even it wasn't until like maybe the last few years of my life, I was still really, really shy. But the only place I wasn't shy was on stage because that was the only place I felt whole. Now, getting older, obviously I was exposed to more of the world and different personalities and different kids with different upbringings. And I really went into a period of depression because I was just struggling with bullying. I was struggling with just not feeling enough and being not good enough. I think a lot of that for me is as a kid, I saw these people that were having these incredible careers at 20 years old. And I was like, I want to be a commercial or I want to be on Disney Channel, or why am I not good enough? Or why the kids hate me because I like singing in pageants and stuff like that. So I had to do a lot of self-discovery. And then of course, my dating life, every guy I dated was really girly. And then every guy I dated, it didn't work out. And it didn't work out because I felt in a lot of ways I liked being with someone, but I felt like there was some type of wall or something I couldn't do. So someone brought to my attention, or really like television, school kids, all that people date the same sex. And I was like, I just didn't put two and two together that was a thing. Like I
And you
saw
were,
it,
you
but
were 14, right?
yeah, I was like 14. So like I saw it on TV, but I didn't really understand. I was 14 back in like 2008. So it wasn't as out there as it is now. And, I just experimented a little bit. I tried it and I was like, this feels like a lot better and this feels like right to me. And there's a rush to it. And I just didn't feel like I was forced or pressured at that time being like with girls. And it took me a long time for me to learn that I'm fully lesbian. I only like women. I'm actually really specific on what type of women I like. And a lot of that was self discovery and accepting rejection and pushing through.
I love that. And at what age did you start the self-discovery mode? Right at 14, you just kind of went into it and challenged yourself and
I mean, I did in the dating world a little bit. I didn't like really fully commit to any women in high school. A lot of it was because, well, slim pickings in Derry, New Hampshire, but also because I think we all were on our journey of discovering who we are, not just in our sexuality, but in our self as mini adults. So I would say it wasn't until I went to college and I really had to be alone as an adult and transition is when I started finding myself and saying, yes, fuck what everyone says, I'm happy.
I love that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So at what age would you say that you hit that I don't care what people think anymore?
That's
Just
a
for
great
some
question. I think it's hard to put an age on it. I think I'll put more of a time in my life and then guess the age. When I joined the military, I enlisted at 17 and then I became an officer in 2017, 5 years later. Um, I always, as an officer, I always have to be the leader of people. I have to inspire, I have to help. Soldiers go through hard things. I have to try to be there for them and, guide them in the right paths of their career. And, I also have to decide if they belong within these ranks too, based on ethics and all these qualifications. So I learned a lot from the military about how I can't care what everyone's going to think because one day you are going to be the villain. Another day you're going to be the hero. You can't live being the best friend and the hero. You have to be the mentor and the decision maker for the best of the mission. So at that point, I
love that.
through trial and error, I couldn't care anymore because if I kept fixating and caring about what everyone else thought, there would be no Jen Messina. I'd be gone.
It's true. That's really powerful. I love that. And what made you enlist in in general at the age of 17? What inspired that? Did you have a choice?
So 17, I was about to graduate high school and I got accepted at Berklee College of Music. I was so excited. And in my mental health journey, that was a big deal because in high school, in like the choir and theater program, I constantly felt like people always thought that they were better than me and that I could never go out there and be a singer. Like people said, well, all you're going to do is teach music. And there's nothing wrong with being a teacher. So that's not me slamming teaching, but that's me saying that people didn't allow me to want to be what I want because they told me I had to be this. So when I got accepted, I was like, oh my God, like I am talented enough to do something bigger than the town I came from. And I didn't have money for school. I didn't. And the idea of joining the army was like horrific in my mind. And I said to myself, this is what I have to do to chase my dreams, the sacrifice I'm going to make. So I was on a school trip to Disney World with the high school choir. I come home and my mom says, you're going to the recruiter tomorrow. And I was like, fuck. I just started crying and bawling my eyes. I was just like, yeah, that's just how that went. So then I enlisted, I went through basic training, and that was a very life-changing moment for me. There was a lot of, you put your mind to it, you can do it. And then I fell in love with everything the Army taught me.
What did they teach you?
They taught me how to be disciplined, and they taught me how to be a goal setter, a goal getter. And they taught me that if I have a dream or a mission, I'm going to do everything I can to succeed at it.
I love that. That's beautiful. And what a beautiful way to say, you know, what you got from it rather than what you struggled with throughout the journey. You know,
Yeah.
your positive perspective is really refreshing. So thank you for sharing that.
It wasn't always positive, and I wasn't always positive, but a lot of self-work got me there. Because if you look at life as every failure is actually an opportunity to do something better or to improve or to pivot, then you're only going to go up from there, even when you fall hard.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when you were enlisted, how was it to be gay and be serving? Was it difficult?
Yeah, because in 2012, right before I raised my hand, that's when Don't Ask, Don't Tell was lifted. And the concept of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, if people don't remember, it was don't talk about your sexuality. Otherwise, if it is discovered, you are kicked out. And I think the idea was because in the military, we do so many things, male and female, and very close, proximity. Like we shower together, we literally sleep shoulder to shoulder, depending on what it is. Folks were very homophobic about if someone of their same gender was going to sexually attack them or sexually harass them in any type of way. But the Army definitely woke up and realized, or the DOD woke up and realized and said, like, LGBT queer folks are our soldiers. And slowly but surely, they are understanding that to the T level of LGBT and the queer level and the non-binary level. We're not there yet. We still look at things as very male and female, and it's going to take a long time for that organization that is written so male and female to start to assimilate better. But the work is going, and the work is learning, and they are being much quicker to kick people out who do not want to fall in line with those values.
Wow. That's progress. That's incredible.
It's zero tolerance. It's zero tolerance. It is so easy to get kicked out of the military for saying like a homophobic slur or not. At this point, especially if someone can get it on a recording, you're done. You're done.
We've really come a long way.
Yes.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful. So you got out of you got out, and what, you went after your dreams. You went after music. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. So when I graduated college, and I had to go to a military training school. It was in middle of nowhere, Missouri. And I was there for about 4 or 5 months in this training school. 2 weeks before I graduated, I decided, fuck it, I'm not driving back to New Hampshire, because what am I going to do in New Hampshire? I get a normal job, or, I live at home with my parents, and everything I know and familiar with most of my life is right there. Or take a risk, move to Los Angeles, and actually give this career a shot, because you just don't know if you don't do it. So I did. And I learned every single lesson, like in the book. I learned everything about a Craigslist scam, to predators, to what's a good audition, to what's a scam, and, a lot of trial and error and a lot of rejection. But I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't keep trying. And that's what I have to tell everybody is like, you don't get my following by sleeping and then waking up the next day, unless you make a really great viral video, which is awesome. You get your 15 seconds of fame, but if you want to keep moving and pushing and those opportunities to come, you have to stay consistent and you have to stay positive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you think got you that following? I mean, you're almost at 1 million.
Well,
That's a
my
big
music
deal.
really took out in like 2020. That was when I came out, and my approach to all my performing and all my music has always been, I'm going to be my blunt self. I'm going to talk about my mental health. I'm going to talk about my struggles. Like, if you want to be in this industry, like, it's very hard to be private, and people just want to assimilate and emulate someone that they can relate to. So I think a lot of people liked that. I sell upon my New England assertive personality all the time, which, you know, some people from other parts of the world are just think that's funny, and some people just think it's offensive. But you know what? Haters are fans that just don't know it yet. So, you know, anyone who's trying to like get up there and get verified, find out what your niche is. Mine is singing, and you know, I highlight modeling and influencing with it, and then keep at it, keep pushing, push out the music you think is gonna suck and everyone's gonna hate. Because I bet you that's the one that's really gonna go up.
Why do you think that is?
Because I think we're too hard and we doubt ourselves too much. I think we're more likely to cheer someone else on than ourselves.
Yes. Yes. And you're a prime example of doing the opposite. You're cheering yourself on.
Like, I mean, like I said, it wasn't always that way. The only reason why I can do it is because I fell flat on my face so many times.
Right. You persevered. You grew. And most importantly, you never gave up.
Right.
So, kind of just to track back to childhood a little bit, the bullying, you know, how did that affect you as an adult?
I was so fixated on what other people thought of me forever. You know, there have been times in my life where I've almost taken my own life because what other people thought and wanted and saw of me or said of me mattered more than how I felt about myself. And I think a lot of that was because I couldn't fill in that gap. I didn't know how to fill in that gap in myself. And when I finally did, my life was more positive. I felt like because I did that, manifesting and great things were coming to me, opportunities for me to jump through. And I think that if I was depressed and sad, my energy wouldn't vibrate people to come towards me.
That's very powerful. Very powerful. Wow. What inspiring words do you have to give to people who are facing bullying in the community or in general? What do you have to
Don't
say?
take no shit. Don't
Easier
take
said
no shit. I
easier said
know,
than done.
I know, but if you love yourself, and I don't mean it like in the most self-centered way, like I'm above everything and stuff like that. But if you love yourself and you say, today I'm going to read, today I'm going to take the whole day and binge watch my favorite show because it's my day to take care of myself. If you just keep practicing and putting out there and not listening to the haters, you're going to be okay. And I get it. It's way easier said than done, but just keep trying. Close your fucking ears if you have to, if you don't want to listen to it. Walk away. Say no. All of these things. And I wish sometimes, I guess back when I was a kid, I can't really talk about when kids of today. I wish I knew how to say no much better. I feel like I grew up in a time where you just kind of like put your head down and move forward. And people didn't really go to therapy as much. You just kind of sucked it up. And I'll tell you, like 10 years of therapy and working a lot on my mental health, that is my tool of success.
It's my tool also.
Yeah.
Now, how did you to the people out there that are interested in possibly pursuing the same, you know, career field that you're in, what's the best avenue or direction to take aside
Well,
from
back in
putting
the
yourself out there? I mean, you have to find managers. What if you don't have any money? Like,
so I mean back in the day, I would have told you get out to a major city, go to New York or go to LA, depending on what industry you want to be in. And still to a point, I would still say go do that. And just because there is still nothing like face to face interaction, go to that coffee shop, sit, talk to random people, really like as cliche as it is, put yourself out there,
yeah,
read bulletin boards that say audition, blah, blah, blah here. Nowadays, you can find that on Facebook. You can find that on Craigslist. For people who want to get started who can't get out to some of those locations, start just sending video auditions. If you go on websites like backstage.com, there's the industry now, we all do video auditions normally before we do anything in person. Go make TikTok videos of you doing really silly things, or Instagram pictures of you in nice backgrounds. And it could be like the mall has an aesthetic corner over there next to the Macy's or something like that. Like, engage with people on social media, say hi, your post is so beautiful, and DM them and say like thank you for following me back, and things like that. It's not too hard. It just takes time and
effort,
consistency.
time and effort.
Yeah.
Time and effort. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, is there anything that you'd like to see more of within the specifically the lesbian community as a whole?
Yes. Stop being turfs. Just stop.
Please
What?
Elaborate on that.
So like in a sense of,
Tell me
for
what a
those of you who
turf
don't,
is for those that don't know what a turf is.
so turf is I don't remember the exact acronym, but practically it means you're a feminist, support women equality and everything, but trans women are out of the picture. They don't count.
So
That's what a turf
equality
is.
for all is what you're saying.
Yeah. Let's support all femmes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Let's support all femmes. And someone actually asked me the other day if femme meant female. No, it means feminine. And I don't think your gender decides if you're masculine or feminine. Both or none. So I'd like to see the lesbian community say, understand the whole purpose of LGBTQ plus pride, and having our own clubs and events and groups, and being a minority is to celebrate everyone. We've never said straight people aren't allowed, cisgender people aren't allowed. We've said everyone is welcome to celebrate and be prideful. So why aren't we doing that within our own community? Why are we homophobic against our own people? And I think what's really hypocritical about it is, as a lesbian, even if you're cisgender lesbian, like, you went through a lot of struggles in this society, especially if you're at least my age or older. So why are you judging someone else for going through all the shit they have to go through? And you know what? It's not just their sexuality that they're getting judged on. Now they're getting judged on their gender. And that's not something you ever had to question.
Very true. So what do you have to say to that?
I think that
stop, right? Stop the
yeah,
judgment.
stop. Yeah, just stop. Just love, follow the values that you believe in. The love all. How can we expect people to accept us if we can't accept them?
Very true. Very true. And that has been a big issue lately. I mean, since the beginning, the trans not feeling a part of the community, and that's not okay with me, not okay with you, and not okay with a lot of people. At the end of the day, trans people are just as important as everybody else. You know why? They wake up, they shit, they go to sleep, they eat, they're human beings, right? Mm-hmm. So who's to say anybody's better than anybody else? Nobody.
That's right.
We don't have that power. We create the illusion that we have that power, but in reality, it's not. It's not real. So thank you for talking about that, because that is something that I know a lot of my friends in the trans community are facing, and it's wrong. We need to be supportive of all. We need to be loving and accepting of all. And if you're not, maybe you should really take a hard look at yourself and find out what's going on within you that's preventing you from wanting to give all the love, compassion, and empathy you have inside of you to somebody who needs it just as much as you needed it back when you struggled. But we don't always put that in perspective, right?
No.
That's why it's important to have conversations like this between you and I, so that people can remember, because it's so easy to forget or so easy to brush off. That's why I really appreciate you bringing it up. Even though we are lesbians, it doesn't matter. It's
Right.
about the community. It's about being a part of. It's about being accepted for whoever you are, you know?
Why
And
are we putting each other down? That's what the enemy wants us to do.
correct.
Yeah, you know, they want us to go down. They want us to downfall. They want us to dissipate. So why are you doing what the opposition wants by hating your people in your community?
Well, what I think it is, I think it's truthfully, we've been brainwashed as a society to judge. They're not my skin color. I'm not going to associate with them. You know, they're not my group of people. I'm not going to associate with them. You know, they like the same sex, so that I'm not educated. I'm not going to associate with them. I think it's just lack of education, lack of effort to learn, lack of effort to experience new experiences. Like, we have one life. Do as much as you possibly can. Interact with as many people as you possibly can, because at the end of the day, like, we don't know if we're going to wake up tomorrow, if our loved ones are going to wake up tomorrow. And if we're going to do anything, I think now is the time to do it, you know? And
Nothing like the present.
nothing like the present. And you are a prime example of that. So thank you for doing what you do and continuing to, again, persevere in your career and make it known that you are proud of the woman that you have become and that you are, and that you're choosing to share it with somebody like me, who's kind of small potatoes right now, you know?
Oh,
And
potatoes are huge.
thanks.
You're a farm.
I appreciate that. But it's beautiful. And it's beautiful that someone with, just to keep it really authentic and transparent, someone with such a high following. I mean, you have 955,000 people following you, eyeballs all over you, and you are one of the kindest, most authentic, transparent, and internally beautiful human being that I've met in some time. And obviously, you know, we're doing this virtually, but please, you know, never stop acknowledging that people see that in you, and keep sharing that gift, because it's important. So
I mean, as much as I talk positively about myself and what I do, I mean, I still go through my daily struggles, and I can't lie about that. You know, as much as I try to bring the positive things as forward as possible, because that's what keeps me happy. I still cry. I still have my moments. I still have my PTSD. I still get sad. All I can do is be true to myself, because I realized down the path a long time ago when I started performing, the more I shared a passionate story through my music, the more I was helping people. And if I can save a life with my music, just one life, I think I've succeeded.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, and if you don't mind sharing, just a, I love mental health. I struggle with it. I think the world does. They just don't always talk about it. But what you said you've been in therapy for over 10 years. That's beautiful. That's amazing. That's consistent. I'm a big therapy advocate. Um, but what other tools do you utilize that maybe you could share with the audience to help you get through the difficult times?
Yeah, I think practicing daily mental health is good, whether it's journaling, some people like writing. There's something magical about pen to paper versus typing, but if typing's your thing, you go for it.
No,
Glenn
I am
Coco.
so big on pen to paper. Pen to
Like it's
paper is life-saving.
like a pretty book and a well-writing pen, like I believe is life-saving. I think trying to sleep at least 8 hours, but not more than 9 is pretty important. A healthy diet, snacking, drinking water. Anytime I start crying, I start drinking water, and a lot of times, a lot of my feelings will start to dissipate, or I'll just get some relief. If I'm getting really worked up, I think going for a walk and walking away from the situation and coming back is another thing. You have to daily do things. Every time I go take a effing shower, I'm having an angry rant, okay? Because if I do that in there, I'm not going to go angry rant at someone who's really pissing me off. Or like,
Got it.
when it's time to sleep, I tried to turn the TV off, I tried to put the phone down, and I just spoke, this is my time. No one else matters. My fucking time. And doing things like that and taking care of yourself will do everything you can for your mental health. And don't be afraid to go to therapy on and off. There are going to be times where like you really, really need it. And there's going to be times where things are going okay. And maybe you don't really have as much to work on. But, keep trying, keep speaking, keep remembering and bringing things up. And then the last thing I would say is the people you put around you really do matter a lot. You have a lot of people that are not taking care of themselves or defiant, or they have a lot of behavior issues, then you're going to be just like them. Sorry to
Right.
say.
You
But if
are
you
who you
put
surround
yourself
yourself with.
exactly, so it's like I put myself around a lot of successful, positive people, and it's not about the dollar value or where their career is at. I'll be friends with someone who has one follower. It's not like that. But if that person with one follower is a go-getter and really wants to, do everything they can, that's a person to be in my circle.
Correct. Yes, I agree tremendously. It's what you listen to, what you watch, what you pay attention to, who you surround yourself with, what you eat, how much water you're consuming on a daily basis, exercise. Like, they might sound like basic things, but they don't come naturally to people. Because if they did,
Right.
I think we'd live in a much happier society, you know? Um, so thank you so much for sharing those tools. I think that's very helpful. And before I let you go, I don't want to steal too much of your time. I know you're very busy. I do have one last question for you. Um, I'd like to know, Jennifer, what is the ultimate legacy that you'd like to leave behind?
No one's ever asked me that before. I think the legacy I want to leave behind is music related. I want my music to be memorable and for people to be able to listen to it or sing along to it and recover from their day or recover from their breakup or, save a life. That's what I want my legacy to be. This young woman who was just passionate and so blunt and so real and showed others you can do it. So why aren't you doing it?
Right. Like if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Try.
That's
I just want the world to heal. There's too many angry, hateful people. There's too many
yes.
people have to be like, please stop.
So true. So true. Well, thank you so much for being on LezPod. It's been an honor. I hope that you
Yay!
enjoyed yourself. Um, I appreciate you coming on the show, and hopefully we can do some great things together in the future.
Yay! Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. This was like my therapy of today. So you're
Awesome.
helping my mental health by letting me get it out today.
Hey, it's been an honor. It's been an honor. Thank you so much.